Good morning, everybody. I'm sitting in the cab of this ice box I call a truck right now. It's 26 degrees and breezy. I know 26 degrees does not sound very cold to a lot of the United States, but to me, it's very unpleasant. But anyway, I am bringing you along today to kind of just give you an insight to the beginning of my work week. Typically Monday and usually Tuesday are full of delivering materials, delivering equipment, bunch of driving, logistics, making sure that the crew members and my crews are prepared for the week ahead and that they're not sitting around waiting for materials or waiting for equipment or tools, fill in the blank. So what we've got to do today is we're starting a 4-acre lot. It is a 5-foot top rail fence. So the ground has already been cleared for a fire break, and I think a majority of the holes went in over the weekend, and we are going to be bringing out pipe. It's a lot of pipe. I think it's almost 1,400 linear feet of fence by the time you subtract the setbacks for the property. There's a couple easements that affect this lot. So we're going to drop that pipe off. I'll walk that job site, show you kind of what we do to set it up, and then I'm going to begin prepping to mobilize for a job down in Peoples Valley, which has, let's see, I think it's almost 1,000 feet. It's between 800 and 1,000 feet of 4-strand barbed wire fence, and then a ranch entrance constructed out of 8-inch square steel with a 16-foot swing gate, and then we're going to automate it. So a lot of moving trailers and steel around today. I'm going to bring you along for the ride as often as I can. Got to keep those balls greased. Man, the grease gun isn't working very good this morning. It's colder than I am. So we are here at Yavapai Steel. This is the vendor we use primarily for our pipe fence products. There's another vendor just down the road, LP Steel. We use them on occasion as well, but typically we use Yavapai Steel. The most common fence in this region is pipe fence, whether it's used drill stem or drill pipe or new pipe. The drill stem here is way overpriced. You're typically looking $90 to $95 a joint after tax, and you can buy at Yavapai here, you can buy a Schedule 40 pipe brand new, cheaper per foot than you can buy the used drill stem, and you have a guaranteed wall thickness of Schedule 40, whereas on the drill stem, I believe it starts out as Schedule 80, but if it's worn or really old, the walls are rusted out, so you really don't know what you're getting. And a lot of it's magnetized. So we prefer to use this stuff. It's a better product for the customer. It's typically more cost effective. And honestly, the most common wall thickness we use is 14 gauge, so 083. And we use 14 gauge the most because a lot of these people don't run livestock up against their fences. They just have a small animal inside, and they'd rather have the several dollar a foot savings by using the 14 gauge. So that's what we go through a lot of. I would say 80% of our fences are 14 gauge, and we use the Yavapai Steel here. They've treated us really well, and we'll continue to use them for the foreseeable future. So I'm gonna hop inside, pick up my ticket, and then they're gonna start loading the truck, and we'll get it strapped down and head to the next stop. Okay, back up. this truck up here is actually, I don't think we can get around and see the container, and I honestly don't want to get back out. It's 20 degrees right now. But that truck there is actually full of material for one of our job sites we have starting in about a week and a half. They're a bunch of prefabricated powder-coated panels. So looking forward to those getting here. I will be able to tell the customer that their material has arrived. They came out of Houston, so we waited a little bit for them to get here. But I'll be able to tell them their material arrived and give them a firm start date for their project. So that's encouraging. All right, as you can see, the loading is well underway. This is the 14 gauge material I was talking to you about. Like I said, maybe I said it earlier, it's still very weldable. I personally like to stick weld it just for the speed and efficiency, and it still looks real clean. For stick welding it, I run a 3/32 6011. My guys, most of them prefer to wire feed it with flux core, so they run an 030 flux core wire. But the nice thing about this 14 gauge material is that it is relatively light. We can haul a large job site's worth of material minus the concrete, but the pipe and wire, we can haul a large job site's worth of material without going over weight, and it's still manageable. These bundles can be rolled off the deck by hand if we don't have a skid steer on site yet, or it's busy. We can roll it off by hand, and that's pretty nice. So we're moving along. This always takes a little longer than I anticipate. I think it's just a matter of trying to cram too much in my day. It's not the guys here's fault. I think I'm got so many things that I'm trying to get done in one day that I tend to overpack it and underestimate the time. So it's my fault. I got to work on it, but we're going to keep on loading, get out of here, get this dropped up. Then we got to pick up 2 more loads of steel today and get material prepped for mobilizing tomorrow, or machines prepped for mobilizing tomorrow. So we'll see you in a minute. I'm going to show you my trick for tying the straps up, and I can't even take credit for it. I've been doing this for a while, so naturally in the trades area, help comes and goes. And I can't say the guy who taught me this was good help. He actually left me with a pretty bad taste in my mouth, but he did leave me with this trick, and that's probably the most positive thing I can say about this gentleman. I'm not going to name him, but if he sees this, he'll know exactly who he is. Anyway, so here's your strap. We got a whole lot of it. Here's our tail. We're gonna start rolling it up. Okay, now we've got our loop. I'm gonna have to adjust the camera a little here. Now we got our loop. Take this and I pull it through. You can see it here. And I don't even know how to explain this, but here's your big loop. And now we're pulling this back through it and pull it tight. It works great. I've been using it for 4 years now, almost, and I love it. But just thought I'd share that little bit of sorcery. I'm sure there's better ways, other ways. This one's fast and I really like it. See, the snow is starting in the mountains there. So we're out here on this job site. I'm going to take a minute to discuss what we typically do to get these set up so we have our canvas prepped. So as you can see behind me, we build a lot of fences in a tinderbox. This grass, I mean, you can fart on it and it starts on fire. So we will take the bucket on either the skid steer or the blade on the excavator, and we'll cut a path at least 20 feet wide to help prevent catching the grass on fire, because once it does catch, it gets away from you pretty quick. Then we will go through and we'll mark our corners, which is pretty self-explanatory. We'll use the property pins, and what we typically do is we set our posts between 3 and 6 inches in either axis inside the property pin, so that there is, not only does it give us a little bit of tolerance, and because sometimes, well, over time people will have a lot resurveyed and the pins will move. We've had that happen in the past, and so by setting it inside the property a little just gives us a little bit of cushion in the event that when the lot is resurveyed that there may be a discrepancy in the pin location. So you can see here's another swath. We've got the holes drilled. The guys, they worked over the weekend. I got a crew that really likes to just work every day possible, and they were out here yesterday and said they got into quite a bit of rock. So I'm walking down to take a look at that. Here's where it starts. You can see really churning some rock out of that one. So that's a bummer. It's hard on the carbide, can be a little hard on the auger. That Bobcat 15C auger, we've been running that auger for 4 years now, and I know going into last year, if you added up every single hole we've drilled back to back, it was some crazy number, like 20 or 30 miles worth of holes we've drilled with that Bobcat 15C auger. It's starting to seep around the output shaft and everything, but it's still working and still making us money. So I'm gonna pause this, position the camera, unload the steel, and then we're gonna keep on moving through delivery day. These bad boys here, these 5 by 200 foot rolls of wire, if I remember correctly, are the better part of 350 pounds each. So getting the whole pallet to roll over can be a little bit of a chore, but it's always a good challenge as long as it doesn't come rolling back on you. But I'm a little short of breath today. I've contracted valley fever. Oh, there's snowflakes falling through here. I don't know if you'll be able to pick them up, but I contracted valley fever because of that machine right there. No cab. I cheaped out. I did open station and I just get to inhale a bunch of dust. But I've got another video coming up because I ordered a cabin closure kit from Skid Steer Doors of America. I think I said that right. But pretty excited about that. We're about to have glass. We're about to have heat in that machine. All right, back to the feature presentation. There we go. Come on. That's 1,400 pounds. Thank goodness they're round. Let's get some straps out of the way. All right, we're gonna pull forward a little. All right, snow is here. First snow of the winter and of 2025. So shouldn't really change our day much. We're still going to be moving material around. The only thing it is going to alter is I was going to pick up 2 pallets, actually a little more than that, 2.5 pallets of concrete for this job site. And instead of unloading them for the guys, I'm just going to leave them wrapped up on their pallet. So we're going to keep on motoring along. See you at the next stop. All right, we're here for round 2 at Yavapai Steel. As you can see, the scenery has changed a little. The weather is not getting much better. We're gonna keep on rolling as long as we can do so safely. I didn't anticipate it getting this white, but that's all right. We're gonna keep on going. We're gonna go drink some coffee while they cut our steel. Beauty. So we are at Tractor Supply. Dropped some stuff off at Powder Coat, and now we are picking up a couple, I think 3 rolls of barbed wire, 50 or 53 T-posts, and then hitting the road again. See you on the next stop. Look at this, VIP parking. They even have the gates open for me today. So, just finished up here at Cal Ranch. I don't know how many stops I've made today, but got a disc for our hot saw, as well as some 2-stroke mix for the hot saw. We're going to be mitering those 8-inch posts. And so as opposed to pulling the welding trailer down with the torches on it, I'm just going to scribe them and then run them in with a hot saw. It'll work just fine. It'll be nice and straight. But I am going to head back to the yard now and start prepping the excavator for mobilization tomorrow. As well, I'm overdue on maintenance for this Miller Bobcat on the bed of the truck. So do an oil change there, and probably just about call it a day. I think it's 2 o'clock, so we've been going for 9 hours now and got a lot done. I didn't get the 2 pallets of concrete out to the job site where we dropped the pipe off. I was going to, but I think I'm gonna have one of the crews that got snowed out today. They're going to go load up those 2 pallets and then a water tote so they can begin setting posts tomorrow once things dry up a little. So the Monday continues. All right, we are in the excavator. One of the guys, Trevor, is over here at my yard, and we are going to unload my smooth bucket, my grading bucket for the skid steer, and I'm going to put the forks on a equipment trailer for him, and then he's going to go get that concrete I mentioned earlier in the video and get that delivered out to the job site where we dropped the pipe. And I think we'll be able to call it a day. It is almost 3 o'clock, so we're coming up on 10 hours. Is it 10? 10 hours? 3:30 will be 10 hours we got in today, and we're done before 4, so not bad. And we got a lot done. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna see if we can grab a hold of this muddy mess and finish strong. All right, everybody, I'm calling it a day. Thanks for tagging along on my Monday. Unfortunately, a lot of times it just involves driving around a lot and moving a little bit of steel, but it was a successful day despite the weather, and we'll be able to get to work tomorrow. I'll be starting a new video regarding that Peoples Valley project where we're going to be doing that ranch entrance and then running the T-post in. I've got a new budget-friendly 4-stroke T-post driver that I'm going to be breaking out tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about it. So thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.